Welcome to part 2. We're going to put the Arturia Keystep back together now, so let's go. So I cleaned all these parts just to let you know these rubber bits fit in here. The short one, there's 7 of these little sticky out bits fit here because you can see a very faint line on this plastic bit here, and this one goes at the end because, as you can see, there's a gap between this one and the last button. So just make sure that you have them in the right order: small, medium, long. So in the reverse order that the other video finished, we're going to put the boards back in this front plate. So we're first going to put the little one back in. So make sure you have your 2 white spacers and the 2 silver screws. So let's place this in first. Now these white spacers, they only go in one way. You want the side with the smaller hole at the top, because at the bottom, as you can see, dropping it, there's a bigger hole. So the smaller hole goes on the top. Place them back in, next to the little screw symbol. Okay, and we're going to put the screws back in. Do the next board, which is this one with the buttons and the switches, but first I'm going to drop these in. So these rubber buttons, make sure you put them the right way up. So I'm just gonna drop that in there and drop these in there, like so. So as you can see, like that. This board, be careful because obviously these have to poke through these holes here. So we're going to place it in, make sure this doesn't get stuck underneath. And it should just drop through like that. So obviously when you put this down, that pushes back up. So you might want to lift it slightly when you're putting the screws back in. Okay, so I'm going to put these screws back in. I'm going to have to summon my husband, please.
You want me to just hold it up?
Yeah, just make sure that's sitting in there. Get in there.
Okay.
Thank you. And obviously the screws go in the little holes with the little screw icons next to them. And there's 9 screws, so make sure you put them all in. So I've got the 4 screws on this side in, so it's not poking up anymore, but obviously when you put the rest in, don't press down too hard. The last 2 screws are hidden under this cable, so don't forget them. I didn't remove the cable at the time because it didn't really need to be removed, but don't forget them. And there you go. As you can see, we've got our first 2 boards back in. Now I'll do the 3rd one. So we're going to put this board in. So the easier way to put it in is if you kind of aim at it at 45, make sure everything lines up, and drop it in and then drop it down. So we have 6 screws going in this one, 2 here, 2 here, and 2 on the end. So let's put them in now. So now all we have left to do on this part is to connect these 2 blue ribbon cables. So we want to slide the blue end underneath this black clip, and with your fingernails again, clip it shut and make sure it's pushed all the way up. And you'll know it's in because this will not come out. And same for this one in the middle. Slide it under. Clink. And that is in there. Obviously just make sure you push these all the way in before you clip them shut. Okay, right, so now we can flip it over, nice and clean, and we can put the knobs back on. So if you look inside, there's two longer white plastic bits sticking out. They will line up with the flat side of the knob, like so. So that's back on there, and same applies to the others. That way, like that. Just make sure they're all properly on there. And all the buttons back in there properly, and switch. All good. Right, so all of this seems to be all lined up, so we can move this out the way for now. I'm going to move on to the keyboard bits. So we have our black plastic thing, and we need these rubber bits. Like I said earlier, they go short, medium, long. So let's just plop those back in first, like so. And as you can see, the gap at the end, so you know it's in the right place. And these black dots on the inside face up. Okay, so now we're going to put this back. Make sure you got it on the right side. As you can see, this gap here correlates with the same on the rubber. And also on the other side, I don't know if you can see, is you've got these little rectangles on the edges. They line up with the clips. So I got 4 on my side and I got 4 on my side. So it will clip in back this way. This other side facing away from me, I'm going to drop in first under here. So all the rectangles should line up with the clips on that side, and then just rest it down. And I'm going to push it back in. You can probably slightly hold that when you drop it. Pull these back and gently push, don't break anything. I'm trying my best not to. And it's back in, so make sure it's in there properly. So yeah, once you've made sure it's all down, you can flip it over, check everything's in there properly, and we will put the screws back in. I've got 4 holes, and it's the 4 tiny silver screws. So let's put them back in. I'll start at this end. So now we are going to attempt to put the keys back in, so we need to turn this over. I'm going to put them back in the reverse order to how I took them out. I'm going to put the springs in one at a time just because it's going to be easier having these ones held in. This first key, this shape here is kind of rectangular with a circle in the middle, matches the shape of the bottom of this key. So you just have a circle here, you have a rectangle circle over here. You have 2 little sticky out bits at the top which slot into the gap up here. So let's hook it underneath and it should sit in there like so. So because it's a white key, we're going to need one of the silver springs and probably your pliers again. We want to make sure the flat bit's at the top and the dome bit goes underneath. So let's try and make sure your key's sitting in there properly. Hook that under, grab your pliers and just pull it back over the top like so. And if you press it, it should feel nice. So it's easiest to put all the black keys in first. You can tell which ones are the black keys because these bits, plastic bits at the front, stick up more, whereas the white key ones are all flat and different shapes. So let's put in this black key, so this bit here, and that should slot in there. And we will need a black spring, which is slightly shorter than the silver springs, but same as the silver spring, make sure the flat bit on the top and the dome bit underneath, and hook it underneath, grab your pliers and pull it over the top like so, and it should be nice and smooth when you press it. So you have two options. You can just go ahead and put in all the black keys first if you want to, or you can go along and put them in as you go, but whenever you get a white key next to a black key, make sure to put the black key in before the white key. And it should sit in there. Get your silver spring, dome bit at the bottom, flat bit at the top, hook it underneath, grab the top of your spring, and it should sit in there nicely. So now we've got 3 keys in. So next we want to flip over the keyboard, and we want to bring this back. So although on the first video I took the metal plate off first, I'm going to do it the other way around and put the keyboard in here first, so you can see me reconnecting all of these ribbon cables. So you will need this one, which we disconnected at both ends earlier. So just place it in here, like so. So this cable here, if you look at the bottom of it, you can see 4 metal bits. The bit without the metal bits, the plain black side, is facing up. So we're going to push that back onto these 4 pins. Bit tricky, like so. So we're going to put this ribbon cable back into these clips here. The bit that's all bent up is going on this side, and the long straight bit is going to go onto the one attached to the keyboard. So make sure this clip is open. We want to slot it in the middle and clip it back down, and you'll know that it's in there because it won't come out. Same over here, slide it under the black bit and clip it back down, and that should stay in there. Make sure the top's the right way up, and I'm going to place it back onto the body like that. First I'm going to put the 10 small-headed long screws in the middle. Make sure this plate is sitting in there properly first. so I've put my 10 screws in, and now you can flip it over before you put the other screws in and lift this up. And now from here it's much easier to tape this ribbon down, should you wish. Like so. Then you can place the top back on and flip it back over. Okay, so now we have our 14 large head short screws, so we will put those in. Make sure this plate is sitting in here properly first, and off you go. Okay, now we have, don't forget these 3 that go across the middle. And then just the 5 across the bottom. Okay, so now we have all of our screws in. We'll turn it back around. So everything's back together, everything's clean, and everything still works, which is always a bonus. And again, thank you to my lovely husband, the cameraman, for his lovely camera work, and again for buying me the Arturia Keystep. So, see you next time.
See you next time. Peace.
Peace.
Baby in there.
I learn the ways of the synth soon.